I'm going to take a shot on this one.
I'm going to say beer.
I'm buying everybody around on this. Oh my God.
All right, so let's stay in the Metro Division. And we talked about this team before, but another reason why they're still sticking around in the standings, Pittsburgh's success is a testament to Mike Sullivan's coaching. And before I have Phil's answer on this, I can't help but say, wouldn't you like to be a team that had him as an assistant coach for years? That's all right, Phil, go ahead.
I wasn't a believer in Mike Sullivan for a long time. I thought he was a good assistant with the Rangers. I think they could have kept him, but this season has really shown me that Mike Sullivan is the real deal coach. And there's a reason why he's going to be on Team USA's staff. I think he's going to be the head coach for Team USA, if I'm correct, right?
I think so.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah. So he has dealt with so much adversity so far this season. Not just finally getting Sidney Crosby back recently. Know of getting Malkin still. He's coming back soon. And they got Tristan Jarry to rebound. They were playing with Jeff Carter as their number one center on opening night. And then he was out for a little bit with COVID. And they were still managing to tread water with no one in terms of legitimate top 6 or top 9 centers for a little bit there. This is a testament to Mike Sullivan's coaching. I'm buying a round for everybody that's watching, everybody that if I was in person, I would be buying rounds for everybody. I couldn't. This is one of the most confident things I could ever say that I bought a round on. But yes, this is Mike Sullivan. I'm a believer. I'm sorry, Mike. I was one of your critics for a while, but you've won me over.
Anthony.
Round. For it feels like for the last few years, he's always been missing a lot of his key players at one time. Crosby, Malkin, Letang, Gensel, sometimes dealing with subpar goaltending. And people always counting out the Penguins. Is this going to be the year they, go down the tubes? And he manages to make them always stick around. I think he's one of the, overlooked. Even when you think of like some of the better coaches in the league over the last few years, you think Trotz. I know he's not coaching right now, but you think Babcock, you think Quenneville. I think sometimes he gets lost in the shuffle. I think he's easily top 5 head coach for my money. And the Penguins are lucky to have him, and he's doing a really good job with them again this year. So, like Phil said, this is an easy round. He's really been, one of the better things to come out of Pittsburgh, since their Cup days. He's good.
I'll say he's one of the best things to come out of Pittsburgh since Permanente Brothers, because I'm going to buy everybody around. If you haven't had Permanente Brothers, by the way, they're sandwiches with coleslaw and fries on top, and they're fantastic. I've actually been on the Mike Sullivan train for a while. I wasn't in his first year. I thought the Rangers were going to beat him. Instead, he ended up winning a Stanley Cup. And Mike Sullivan has done wonders with that team. And I think one reason why he doesn't get respect is because he has Sidney Crosby on his team. It's because he's got Evgeny Malkin. But they've had injuries, and he'll still get them the win. And that's why it's so hard to predict when Pittsburgh is going to bottom out and get out of the league, the playoffs. I mean, it's just they're always going to be there with them. And that's also another reason why I say the Metro is one of the hardest divisions, because you look at their coaching, you go from just right now, you go Laviolette, Brindamore, Gallant.
Laviolette. There we go.
Yes. Yeah. I've been saying his name for the last 30 years, and yet I can still get it wrong. Back when he was a player on the Rangers for all those 13 games. So then you got Lindy Ruff, who was a coach for decades, and you got Mike Sullivan. I mean, and let's not forget Alain Vigneault. This is murderer's row for coaches. I feel bad for the guy in Columbus. It slipped in my mind.
John Tortorella.
No, not Tortorella. Now,
yeah, that's right now.
Yeah, I forgot his name. With Brian Burke as the GM, they'll definitely try to make a splash. They always will try to make a splash with Brian Burke. as the GM. So again, if I didn't do it, I'm buying everybody around. But no, actually, I could spell Lavalette because it's
You
it's
can't
Lavi.
say it, you can spell it.
Yes, LAVIOLETTE. Okay,
Wow.
here we go. And I still think Peter Lavalette is one of the best American coaches, if not the best American coach of all time. I still think that right now. Going to possible trade deadline rumors, Tomas Hertl would be a perfect fit for the Boston Bruins. Mr. LaRocco.
Round. I mean, I think with the loss of Krejci, I think they could use another very high-end skilled center, and I think Hertl is that. Now the only thing is with Hertl, we kind of heard the rumors before the season started, but then he kind of put those aside and said, he's wasn't sure what he wanted to do, and for now he's going to focus on hockey. I think with San Jose being better than expected, I think San Jose's preference is to try to extend him. So we'll have to see, but if he hits the open market, I absolutely think the Bruins should be online, trying to acquire Hertl for sure. So I'm going to go round. I mean, but I just don't. I'm not sold if he's definitely going to be available.
By the way, I just want to say I checked out comments just now, and I love this one from our Mr. John Bukowski.
Yeah, I hate you right now.
Go ahead, Phil.
I'm gonna chime in with a comment first here because this one kind of fits it. I can see Hertl going there from Julian. He fits their play style. So you're gonna tell me that you have another highly skilled two-way center that's a check that can come right in and play good defensive hockey and plays tough and has a big body? Give me Tomas Hertl all day if I'm Don Sweeney. Don Sweeney should be hitting them up. But as Anthony said, is he going to be available? Because unless San Jose starts to fall off, I don't know if they're going to want to deal him off now at this point. So I'm buying a round just on the premise itself, though.
I wasn't sure if I did this for you before, so I'll do it again. And would he be a good fit? Yeah, he'd be a good fit on a lot of teams. We're going to do that again. And somehow crushing Anthony's head. I'm crushing your head. But Tomas Hertl would be a great fit for everything. But yes, exactly what Phil just outlined, and he took away my answer. You're going to replace David Krejci with another Czech center? Might as well be Tomas Hertl. And who knows? Maybe you can do the goal between the legs again. But it's
not against the Rangers, please. Thanks.
Yes, and not to end Marty Biron's career. Although, yes, we do know he played another game after that. So that's another story as well. Marty. Here's a simple one, guys. The Wild are underrated. Phil.
Yeah, I'm buying around on this one too. I think that they have a solid defense, even with Ryan Suter still not being there, or with not being there. I think their forward group has started to play better. I just wonder what happens with Kevin Fiala, because it looks like he's on his way out. It just that seems like a little bit of a sticky situation. And as Chris G pointed out here, Talbot is winning. And he's been very good. And we'll bring up Statboy Stevens' favorite nickname for a team, the side salad of the NHL. And yes, the side salad of the NHL, if Steven is watching, they are playing well. So I really think that this team's underrated. I don't know if they have enough noise to do damage in the playoffs, or enough firepower rather, but they are a pretty good team that's played some pretty good games against some good teams. So yeah, they are underrated. I'm buying around.
I'll tell you what, I'm going to buy around too. I'll jump in on this one before Anthony. And yes, Cam Talbot is playing very well. I have him on my fantasy team. I am the biggest Cam Talbot critic that there is, because after all, he was the anointed one in 2015 that they should have traded Henrik Lundqvist instead of him. But you know what? Cam Talbot's playing very well for them right now. He's just winning. That's what he's doing. And it's helping them. Their top line with Kaprizov, Zuccarello, and shoot, I forgot their center. Are playing really
Victor
well.
Rask.
What was it?
Victor Rask.
All right, because there was another guy that was playing on their center, because he was saying, all I got to do is put my stick down and they'll find it. I don't think it was Ryan Hartman. It was somebody else.
No.
But Joel Eriksson Ek is is
One of the
stepping
best two-way
into that
forwards in the
role.
league.
Yeah, they're doing well with their forwards group. So I mean, that's what's not to like about this team. And then throw on top, Colorado Avalanche aren't there yet, so they're not jumping over them. The Blues, they're still there, but there's a lot of teams kind of falling off in that division, and Minnesota might end up winning it. Anthony.
Round. They don't really have a lot of sexy names on the roster aside from Kirill Kaprizov. But boy, I mean, you see a player, man. He's got 25 points in 22 games. He's the type of guy that brings you out of your seat. And then Ryan Hartman, 12 goals. I mean, Ryan Hartman having 12 goals. Who would have predicted that? And then they have one of the better defensive players in the league, as you guys just mentioned, Joel Eriksson-Ek. Talbot's been good in goal. Marcus Foligno is a tough, gritty player for them. They're the sum of the parts, but they're playing really good hockey. And just to mention again, boy, do I love Kirill Kaprizov. He's fun to watch.
Yeah,
I don't think you're alone in that club. We all love Kirill Kaprizov, and especially since I stopped calling him Caprell. All right, that was I don't even know where the P came from.
Oh, good job, Mark.
Yeah, well, you know what? I'm allowed to make mistakes. It's how I came into the world. It's how I'm going to leave it. So, moving on, the Vancouver Canucks should have fired Travis Green already, even though Anthony and I went a different way with this last week, talking about Jim Benning. Phil, I'm going to start you off with this. Travis Green should have been fired.
Buying around. This team is clearly not responding to him anymore. They haven't been for a while. There's no excuse for Elias Pettersson to be under a point per game player. I mean, if you look at the roster right now and you take away what you can get from the players that they have, JT Miller's playing great. Okay, like that's not a problem. Like he's in a contract year. You expect that from him. But some of the other names on this roster have just performed so poorly, and you just wonder what it is. But you look back on everything, and to me, it's the coaching, and they're just not getting enough from guys like Elias Pettersson, who just I don't know what it is with him. He just doesn't seem to be just doing what it takes to win. Like I don't see the compete level in him every night, and I don't see enough from some of the other guys too. Like Bo Horvat's playing all right, but again, you're just looking at this roster. 20 points in 23 games from JT Miller. He's just under a point per game. Connor Garland has 16 points in 23 games. Quinn Hughes has 16 points in 22 games. Bo Horvat only has 12 points in 23 games. Elias Pettersson, 23 games, 11 points. Nils Höglander, after a strong rookie year, only has 10 points in 23 games. Brock Besser is a major disappointment with only 4 goals and 9 points in 20 games. So, yeah, Travis Green should have been gone. I'll give Lucas some props here because this is actually a good one. But Oliver Ekman-Larsson was not a defenseman I needed. I questioned that deal when it happened because Quinn Hughes, you already have your puck mover and power play guy. Why did they need Oliver Ekman-Larsson? Connor Garland made a lot of sense, but Ekman-Larsson, why? He's
been their matchup defenseman.
So and to me, that's part of the problem. You're right. If Oliver Ekman-Larsson's a matchup defenseman, you're not getting solid defense in your own zone when he doesn't have the puck. So that's a big thing. But because if not for Thatcher Demko's solid performance this year, then you're looking at Vancouver being a lottery team, I would say.
They might be there anyway. Anthony.
I'm buying around on this.
Round. I talked to you about this, Mark. I think Travis Green's more culpable here than Jim Benning, for sure. I mean, because Benning's giving them some good pieces. And there's a lot of smoke around Vancouver. I mean, aside from smoke about Green being fired and removed, they may shake things up. You hear JT Miller's name. Some people saying Brock Besser needs a change of scenery, which if you look at his play, you would have to tend to agree with. So they very well might look to shake things up. I I saw a tweet the other day that the Islanders had scouts at the Canucks Bruins game. So, two struggling teams in the Isles and Canucks, maybe they can look to hook up and make a deal. But Vancouver needs to do something because clearly it's not working. But I think they're going to look to fire Green before they make a move. But I won't be surprised if they ship off JT Miller in a contract year, like Phil said. Or if they wanted to make like a hockey trade or shake things up even further, they could move like a Brock Besser. But you expect more from this team, especially after making the big trade. Getting OEL and Garland, people expected them to take the next step. Hasn't happened. I think you have to remove Green, and then maybe that kind of reinvigorates them. But something's got to change there in Vancouver.
I can't believe I'm saying these words that are about to come out of my mouth, especially if I told the kid in high school that watched the New York Islanders. I am the biggest Travis Green defender here. The answer is you got to buy everybody around. They're 2-8. You can't fire 20 players. You have to fire one coach. It's just where that option goes. Now, I want to also be clear. Everyone should be fired in Vancouver. Everyone. Fire Benning for putting him in this situation. Fire Green because right now they're not playing well. Mike Babcock's been attached to that job. He'll probably end up getting it. And it just you look at this
Garland
team.
would fit for the Rangers in a heartbeat.
Oh God! And Connor Garland could fit on 31 teams, including the one he's on right now. So 32. So it's just as far as that goes. You look at them 2 years ago when they were playing for the COVID Cup, and they won the play-in round. They took Vegas to 7 games, and you really thought this team. Actually, I think they won the play-in round, then beat St. Louis, then played Vegas. You thought this team was going to be on the rise. You thought the rebuilding was over. It's not. And this is something Ranger fans be cautious about because it could easily be you in this seat watching your team. But then again, that's why you need a veteran coach in moments like this. So as far as I'm concerned with Travis Green, if he's on the Team USA coaching staff, I'll be happy with that. But as of right now, he's got to go in Vancouver. If you like that video, we got a lot more. So check out any of these that are right over here. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
Your ideas are intriguing to me, and I wish to subscribe to your newsletter.